Welcome back to Trails in the Sky. Last time we traversed the Gull's Seaside Way, also got our Bracer badge back, and now I've really been looking forward to this. Ruan is one of my favourite cities in this game, and I've been really excited to show it off, so let's go. Welcome to Ruan, the seaside town. Now, something I haven't actually shown yet is that on the title screen, there's a different background image every time you load up the game. The drawbridge in Ruan is one of those images, so if you're playing along, chances are you will have seen that bridge before now. So the Bracer Guild is just in front of the bridge, but I'm going to completely disobey Estelle because you know what the first thing that I like to do when I go to a new city in this game? Hit up the weapon shop and all the restaurants, because achievements, so let's go. So here's Joan Arms and Guards. Here we have a new weapon for Estelle and for Joshua, the Hex Staff and the Basilards. Yes, two versions of Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn's Ultimate Dagger. In fact, people in the comments told me that I was pronouncing it wrong in that game. It's more like Basilard, so I still hope I'm not butchering it. Anyway, we can also get the Shield Vest. I guess we'll get one of those now too. In addition, we can also buy Lily necklaces, but they're very expensive. I might as well grab one, just because, yeah, I really don't like getting confused. You can also buy skull pendants. The fact that they're selling Deathblow protection now doesn't exactly bode well. Also, a few of the students from Janus Royal Academy can be seen hanging around Ruan if you go ahead and talk to them. And I guess vague school friend stuff that we're not privy to just yet. So, well, I mean, I guess I should equip the things that I got at the Arms and Guards before doing anything else. And, yeah, there's the Shield Vest. I suppose I'll equip the Lily necklace on you for now. And yeah, you can actually see a few more of the students at home with their families here if you talk to them. A lot of people like the music in Bose, but to me this one's even better. It really makes Ruan stand out. There's a general goods store over here, and the person who runs it, O'Neill, he loves to go on long stories. That's one of his shorter ones. We already have LaBelle News 4. We have all the ingredients for ice cream here, I might as well get a little bit of that. So I'll see you in a bit. So, after ruining a second economy with ice cream, let's head onward. I basically just want to make sure that I have everything I need to buy all the food items here, because here we have the Laventar Casino and Bar. Now, I wanted to go in here for another reason. If you talk to this guy, it's actually Hart, the guy we escorted back in Bose. And it's not just him. We also have Melbourne, the junior bracer who met him halfway. I really like this detail. You can actually see people that we met in earlier side quests. It's really cool. Anyway, Melbourne was just talking about Shining Poms there. So here we want to buy, well, we already have salmon there, but this thing here, Azalea Rose. One, I need the recipe, but two, this thing is an amazing healing item. Oh, here we go. For some reason, the descriptions kind of glitched earlier and disappeared. Anyway, restores 500 HP and is a revive. These things are amazing. You want to stock up on as many of these as you can carry. I think for now, I'll just get 10 of them, just because I'm going to need to spend some money on one more to learn the recipe. Just going to need to spend some money on other food later, but yeah, when I get the chance, I am definitely going to be buying as many of these as I can. You might have also seen the word casino in the title for this place. Thing is though, the casino is actually not in operation yet. So, no gambling minigames. And thus, this game's rating doesn't need to get massively higher in Europe. Also, if we head down here to the park, we can witness a scene that's actually entirely optional as far as I know, but it gives a good bit of world-building information. This is that small seaside park that Chloe was mentioning to us. So they build a ton of bombard towers and use that heated shot tech to make them more... Actually, no, heated shot doesn't affect cannonballs, it only affects arrows, I think, from towers. That's an Age of Empires 2 reference, by the way. I love how she jumps up in the air and spins. Oh, right, okay then, so that means that should the power go out again, that bridge will also be stuck. Nice to know this city is very dependent on its power supply. That's actually a really cool detail. That actually sounds like something that would happen historically. Yep, seems like these people are on some kind of a travel tour. And yeah, people do those kind of things in real life. I probably mentioned that I actually had a tour guide in the Vatican City when I went to Rome last year, and I'm so glad that I did. So much about the artwork there I would not know if I didn't have a guide. So yeah, I just love how the world building in this game is just, the universe just feels so real in these games, and that's why I love them. Anyway, what I want to do as well, before going to the Bracer Guild, is go to the Orbital Factory. Because we actually have enough Seepith to open the final slot on Joshua's Orbment. And this is a lot earlier than I expected as well. And also, there are some new quartz available, so you can actually synthesize poison now. Chances are you've already got one of these dropped from Sky Bandits, but we have a new quartz that we can synthesize here, Mute. It only costs 50 Earth, so I might as well get this. Mute prevents the enemy from casting arts, basically. We can also synthesize HP too, but I already have that. We also have Seal, which is can be kind of useful. Think of this as, in fact, it's actually very similar to Strength Bind from Persona Q if you've watched my series on that. We can also get Impede 2 as well as Evade 2, but I already have some of those. The main things to get here, though, Action 2 and Cast 2. I only have enough Time Seepeth for one of them at this point, but I definitely want to grab one. I think Action 2 is a little bit more universally useful. Cast 2 is only good on, well, casters, but you definitely want to get Cast 2 as soon as you can, because it's just that good. We can also get Move 2 and EP 2. Oh, also Hit 2. Okay, so Action 2 plus EP 2 will actually be enough to get me a new art on Joshua, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that. I actually have enough for Move 2, so I might as well get that quartz out of the way. And I have enough for Hit 2 as well. Okay, so which of the quartz here don't I have right now? Wow, I was more productive than I thought I would be. Cast 2 is the only quartz left that I don't have. So that's very good progress for the trophy. But the real reason why I got those is Let's remove action 1 from there, and now I can put action 2 here. And if I replace Haze with... Actually, no, I think I can still keep Haze, because if I replace EP Cut 1 with EP 2... Actually, no, that's not quite what I wanted. If I replace Haze with EP2, I can get Clock Up EX and White Gahana, which is the thing that I really wanted. Actually, though, I should just point out, Chaos Brand is an incredibly useful art, and I'll really want to get that on as many casters as possible towards the end of the game, but I'll save talking about how amazing that is for later. For now, I think Clock Up EX and White Gahana are the main things that I need. So, White Gahana, this thing is essentially Aerial plus Hellgate, so it's insanely good. And in that leftover slot, which is not connected to anything else, I might as well just put HP2 in here. Oh, also, Clock Up EX is amazing, plus 50% speed, but it's going to be a bit more useful later in the game, like Chaos Brand is. And I think that's enough on the Quartz front for now. So, that actually should be everything apart from the Bracer Guilds. I can also talk to this other tour guide. To get a little bit of more info on the bridge. I don't think, yeah, no, they don't let you cross unless you've been to the Bracer Guild. I thought so. So, yeah, don't worry, we'll be crossing there later. Game, I know where the Bracer Guild is. I just passed it, and it's marked in red on the map. By the way, if you want to see the map of this area, this is what it looks like. Okay, now I can head to the Ruan Bracer Guild. And looks like no one's manning it right now. But we do have a new face here. Unlike Bose, the Ruan region does have a few relatively famous bracers who are stationed there. Kana is one of them. Yeah, we're here to register. And yes, Kana is specifically attached to this branch, even though she is a senior. Yeah, you've probably heard about us right now. Hopefully word... Yep, I thought so. Word of the Sky Bandit incident has definitely spread. They probably were, let's be honest. Okay, I guess we have some time to kill. Yeah, Chloe definitely seems nice, and she's thankfully not at school right now. So it's time to sightsee for a little bit. We can also check the board though, and this is the only one that's available right now, and we've already completed it, so we're going to report that as soon as the receptionist returns. So our next step is to see the bridge itself. And get a pretty nice camera pan of the area. I don't know why, but this shot of the bridge I've always felt is very iconic to this game. There's actually a bridge kind of like this, relatively close to where I live in Australia, actually. As a kid, I always used to think that drawbridges like this were really cool. Like the bridges that can move to allow big ships to pass. But I always wondered what would happen if people were on them when the bridge started being raised. As it turns out, most of the time they just get everyone off the bridge before they raise it. Okay, so yeah, before that, people would just have to take a boat to the other side. True, technology did advance incredibly quickly after the Orbital Revolution. take in the local sights. Speaking of which, let's head to the south block of Ruan. This place is, well, there's actually a little less to see here. And it's not quite as developed as the north side. The South District is mainly restricted to the shipping industry, whereas the north side is mostly about tourism. We can also take a quick tour of the Mayor of Ruan's residence. A lot of people have said that since these people are pretty much in charge of the entire region, it'd be more accurate to call them governors than mayors. And once again, important people are always out when we try and see them. We don't really need to give any messages to the mayor, though. He also has this thing just on display in the middle of the front room. Sapphire Glim. So that's interesting to know. But there's really not much reason to be here right now. I just wanted to show it because, you know, it's here. It's definitely the most extravagant of all the mayoral residences we've seen. That's really saying something, seeing as the one in Bose was pretty extravagant on its own right. And, well, they're just concerned with shipping freight and things like that. Also, hi there, Japanese name of Benny from Effie Fates. Okay, good to know. Of course, well... Anyway, for now, I'll just talk about this guy. He's in charge of the warehouse key. You might want to remember that, actually. Down here, we actually have a second bar, the Aqua Rosa. So interesting to know that you can walk here from Zeiss. But anyway, here we can get Slabrious Oatmeal, which apparently just means healthy. So that's one more recipe down, and we can also get Wine Steamed Egg, which is also new. There aren't a lot of enemies in this region that inflict freeze, so its additional effect is not that amazing. But we can at least learn that recipe. So there are some fishing rods here. Because we can examine them, you can obviously tell that they're going to be maybe important later. Yeah, and well, neither will we, because as of recording this, they haven't even got to an arc set in Calvard yet. Some of the people who are in the sailing and fishing industry don't exactly appreciate the town's newfound focus on tourism. There's a little bit of friction there. Now, if I remember correctly, I think someone important lives upstairs here. Norman. Yeah, so Ruan's really going all out on tourism. Definitely makes sense, seeing as it's by the sea, it's a place that a lot of people like to come and visit. Also, there's a student here from Genesis Royal Academy, and yes, this guy's name is actually Logic. I don't know why, this is always one of the funnier NPC names to me. And here's Portos. He's the harbour master in this town. So, him, Norman, and the mayor kind of split the power in this place. So, what I was saying earlier? Well, anytime that an RPG tells you not to go somewhere, to progress the plot, you usually need to go to that place. Yeah, I don't even know if there's like a TV trope for that, but I don't know, I kind of like to call it plot-induced stupidity, personally. But it's true, anytime there is an NPC who warns you not to go somewhere, you generally have to go to that place. Yeah, that's another reason why all of the sailors here are kind of annoyed these days. Abandoned warehouses. That's not suspicious in the slightest. We can't actually enter any of them, though. So, let's get even closer to the abandoned warehouses and talk to this guy, who is probably one of these unsavory folks that we were told not to talk to. Again, plot-induced stupidity. Obviously, they're hiding something suspicious in here. Can't go in there. So yeah, they're totally just gonna let us leave after we check out the obviously suspicious abandoned warehouse, aren't they? Plus, she carries a very big and heavy staff. Yeah, let's not make them angry. Oh, of course something like this would happen. Nice line there. Yeah, Joshua's high charisma makes him pretty good at intimidation. Well, we already know this guy's name. Seems like a very proper gentleman. And he apparently works for the mayor. Speaking of... Yep, it's the mayor himself. About that... Nice description there. I love this. This is kind of like some people just realizing they just sexually harassed a police officer. Well, that's interesting to know. I wonder who that was. Oh, really? Yeah, I'd like to see you all try. Get out of here. So, that's why we were warned not to go near the warehouse district, by the way. As if it wasn't obvious. Yeah, we kind of already figured that. Well, guess makes sense for the head of the Bracer Guild here to be connected to the mayor. Finally get a surname for her. A little bit more backstory on this area. Seems like a lot of people here graduated from the Royal Academy. Obviously setting up a few things about the Royal Academy. You can probably tell it's going to be fairly important to this chapter. It's pretty much the center point of this region after all. And we have a name for that gang, they're the Ravens. They didn't seem very intimidated by you, honestly. You should probably do a better job of cracking down on crime, just saying. Yeah, I had a feeling. He definitely seemed to have more of a regal bearing than the other mayors we've met. Yeah, Laboul doesn't really have a major distinction between the social classes. Erebonia, on the other hand, yeah. Totally different over there. Well, good thing you're with us. Doesn't really look like Chloe has any combat training, but we definitely do. Actually we kinda did. We sorta had to for plot reasons, but anyway. So now that we've done all of that, we can head back to the guild and Jean will have returned. So let's check out the guild. And this is Jean. And he seems to know Chloe too. So get used to seeing Jean throughout this chapter. He'll be our, essentially, bracer connection for the region. Yeah, more mention of the campus festival. Why is it that in any RPG where there's a school, you'll usually end up going there around the time the school festival is being held? Though, the Persona games cheat and have you be it and cover an entire school year. Yeah, he's probably heard of Estelle and Joshua, but he hasn't actually seen them. Yeah, they probably talked us up quite a bit back there. Pleasure to meet you too. He seems pretty nice. So far, all of the guild branch heads have been pretty nice people. And yes, our reputation precedes us. Not exactly among the common folk, though. Like I said, yeah, it's really only known among the Bracer sources, since the Laboul news was very vague about who actually helped. Yeah, sadly, the Royal Army gets most of the credit here. Time to finally do what we actually came here for. Signing ourselves over to the Ruan branch. And yes, we are going to be busy. He's probably been waiting for some juniors to push work onto. Yeah, we read about that in the Liberal News. Sadly, no, not the Queen. Yeah, if you've read the paper, you'll know it's actually a he. It's Duke Dunan. Yeah, they wouldn't want it reflecting badly on the town. Plus, yeah, security if it's a member of the royal family. And yeah, I was about to mention that. You might want to keep the royals away from those ravens. Hopefully they don't try anything regarding the royal visitor. Ah yes, you went there despite being told not to because you're protagonists. Probably just general hooligan business, threatening people. So this region might look like a nice safe place for tourists, but actually it does have its dark secrets. So we're about to be very busy, and already it's evening. And Estelle's saying that exactly. Something that a lot of people point out about this game is that Estelle has this tendency to say exactly what the player is thinking in a lot of situations, and in a way that makes her very endearing as a protagonist. It takes a really good writer to make a character like that, though. Another example I can think of off the top of my head is Phoenix Wright from the Ace Attorney series. He also has this tendency to predict exactly what the player is thinking at any given moment. But anyway, they're raising the bridge, and that means that the hooligans are cut off from the rest of the city, thankfully. We can sleep easily. Probably long enough for the ships to pass through. Yeah, we do need a place to stay. It's funny, they never actually brought up the need for a place to stay during the Bose arc. I never realized that. I guess it's just kind of assumed that Shera took care of that off-screen. So, I guess we have to go ahead and check out the hotel. O'Neill has a tendency to change his dialogue quite a bit in this chapter. Yeah, he's got a lot of stories. And, yeah, let's leave before we fall asleep. I mean, I suppose that would kind of give us free lodgings, but anyway. Yeah, I think now if you talk to this guy again, yes, he actually mentions that his brother is a member of the Ravens. So, yeah, they've been a nuisance in this region for quite some time. And no one's at the park now. So, our next destination is to go to the hotel. People in the city earlier did mention this place is often booked out, which makes sense given how popular this town is with tourists. Well, that's very lucky. We actually get the penthouse by sheer luck. I guess braces get special privileges. And yeah, Chloe obviously won't be staying with us. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of her in the future though. She seems to be pretty well known around this region. Yep, definitely a while. You know, I wonder if that you-know-what that they were talking to Chloe about earlier might be related to the festival somehow. And we might not even be able to go anyway. Oh, work always getting in the way of fun. Well, I hope she will be. Thankfully the Ravens aren't in that direction. Yeah, she's almost like the kind of person that Josette was pretending to be, but for real. At least as far as we know now. Okay, now before we go to the hotel, there is something that we can do. We have already completed one request for this region. Actually, 2. Oh, 3, yeah, right, Chrome Pass attack counts too. This pay is technically split with Agate, although he's not here. And that's all we have to do for now, so let's head to our room. Which is upstairs. We get the entire top floor to ourselves. Definitely a huge stroke of luck. And we even get a balcony too. Just like Josh was saying. Still haven't found any leads on him. Nothing related to that black orbment seems to have happened yet. And there's no one in this area who could potentially be that professor that was mentioned. Huh.